Hey guys, thanks for watching. How do you find old home sites? What sort of maps do you use? I get those questions a lot. Now, I live really rural in western North Carolina. If I live closer to a larger city, I'd be looking for something called Sanborn maps. All sorts of old maps exist, especially in more populated areas. But where I live, none of that exists. We had courthouse fires time after time again, and the old maps pretty much been lost. Or they don't have detailed information concerning where houses and structures sit. So one thing that I have relied on over the years is something called historic aerials, and it's online. Literally on my phone, I can search these maps up. And so I want to teach you how to do that. I got a tip a couple weeks ago about the potential for an old schoolhouse to exist on about a 22-acre piece of property. Now, all I was told is that somewhere on this property was some stone foundations from the building. And so the first thing I did was to just hike it and kind of look. I thought I would just be able to walk kind of up on it. And I did, but I didn't know that I did because I was looking for the right things and ignoring the wrong things. So maybe this will kind of be a little bit of a how-to video, and then you're going to get to see what I dug up metal detecting and what I found off the sides of the mountain. Something very common around Appalachian home sites. Hope you enjoy this video. Maybe you learned something. Alright guys, so pull up historicaerials.com on your phone or computer. The first thing you'll want to go to is aerials and select the most recent date, 2016 for me. Now this is going to help you really narrow in on where you're searching. You can use roads and landmarks to find your location. Once you find it, don't move the map anymore. So this is the exact spot that I'm going to be hunting. And then the next thing that I want to select is the topos. So the topographical maps, and select the oldest one. This is the way I like to do it. You really want to pay attention to all the features. The black dots, those are structures. But you see that blue line leading away from this black dot? Well, that is a water source. And if I had paid closer attention, I would have found this place much sooner. There's only one possible place that that water source could be. And that's, of course, going to be in a low area in a valley. So then begin to move your way up the map, up the years through the map. So 1938, and notice all the changes. What you're going to find out is that certain years of these maps, they're not very accurate, and others are extremely accurate. That water source from 1935, it's missing in all the rest of these maps, and it is actually that close to the house. So the 1935 map is very accurate. But look what happened in 1975. House is gone. So that gives me a real good time frame for the age of this place and when it finally disappeared. So the last thing I do is go back to the aerials. Now, I work my way down this list. Here's 2009. Not much to see there. But when I get to 1984, I can see the faint outline of a road. And it's that old roadbed that I walked that led me to the location of this house. Now, some of these tips are going to be pretty specific to where I live. It's not going to be the same case maybe where you live. Old roadbeds like this, well, that means absolutely nothing in the Appalachian Mountains. Logging roads crisscross the mountains. Everything pretty much was logged. But you can still pick up on a few clues. Look how small these trees are right up here at the top at this flat area. except for to the sides of that flat area where there are much larger trees. It's a really good indication that there was a structure there, because those trees in the middle where the house once sat, well, they just hadn't had time to grow yet. And of course, you're going to always have some nice shade trees in the yard, and those would be protected from logging, so they'll be significantly larger. Anytime you have a structure, well, you're going to need some facilities, and so you need to look for privies. And very good chance this may have been dug already by somebody, but very obvious privy hole, kind of off to the side, and there's actually 2 or 3 others just down below this. Now, a feature that, like I said, this kind of is dependent on where you live. If you live in flatlands, you're not going to catch this. But up on top of mountains, you need to look for something called terracing. So when a house went in, maybe the ground was flattened a little bit, somebody pushed a road in. Well, when you're up on top of a hill, that dirt has to go somewhere. And so it creates terraces. Anytime you see that on the side of a mountain, there they are right there, 2 terraces. I missed it initially. Well, that's not natural. Now, something to avoid. I ended up walking to the top of a ridge on this property. Gorgeous views all the way around. Excellent place for a house site. Today, not so much back then. People did not like to build in the same areas that we would build today. So don't get caught up looking for a place that might have the best view. Views didn't matter so much as being warm and having access to water. Well, that's all for the tips for now. You guys just enjoy the rest of the video and watch as I finally figure out what I've got. All right, well, I got something. Coffee pot. Some cans. What's this? Ooh, there's a whole layer in there. That'll be worth scratching around in. All right, I started scratching around in the trash pit just to see if we can get a little age. Got some of that green glass coming out. We got that with a plastic lid. Let's see if that says anything. Not sure what's going on there. We got that. I don't know, it's not looking as old as what I want. It's like a broken wine goblet looking thing over there. I'm gonna keep scratching around a little bit more. Okay, so I do got a little cork top shoe polish. Nice mason jar lid, that's in good shape. And, mostly I'd have a hard time calling this even 1940s. I'm thinking maybe 1950s. Yeah, it could be maybe 40s, and this is more household trash. So, like I said, we got a circle drive that comes right around this spot. This would be a good logical area for dumping trash. So, could be just somebody in the community finding a place to get rid of a bunch of glass and old cans. I don't really connect much of that to a schoolhouse. All right. I'm back to this original spot that I kind of scoped out. It's got some larger trees, like that big guy right there on the perimeter. This area seems relatively clear. Ground seems firmly packed. And we got stuff like that laying on the surface. So, I think I'm really close. Maybe the rocks have all been moved. That's what I've been looking for, foundation stones, and maybe those have been moved at some point. But This is the area that I'm gonna start hunting. All right, got some more trash popping. Ooh, yeah. Another little trash pit area right in here. A little wash tub. I see some cobalt glass right there. Got a whiskey bottle. None of it's super old, but it's old enough. What we got there? Looks like the Loch Ness Monster. All right. Old Coke bottle. I don't know if it's old enough to have a name on it. I think it will. Why, it does. Lincolnton, North Carolina. Very cool. I will take that. So, Pat D bottle. I can never remember the years. Coca-Cola's kind of in a square plate. I don't know if that's common or... I don't know enough about bottles, but I guarantee you I'll tell you a little something about it. I'm going to put it in the same age as everything else. 50s. How about that? Well, before I even start swinging, I got to check the obvious, and there's a lot of bottles laying around down here. So I'm just working my way back and forth, and I got a milk bottle spotted. It's probably unembossed. It's one of the square types. Newer. But an old milk bottle. That is very cool. Sure wish it had a label or something on it. All right. Alrighty. About the third one of those I've dug up. The old Appalachian pull tab. Really feeling strongly this is a house, not a school. But lots of these signals laying around for sure. All right, about 7 or 8 mason jar lids later, got that. Looks like a little bit of a pulley wheel, probably potentially off of a clothesline. Clotheslines are very good things. So, nice flat area, what I would think would maybe be behind the house. We'll pay special attention because sometimes you find nice coins and buttons beneath where clotheslines were, assuming this fell where the clothesline was. All right, so up there is where the house would have sat. And so anytime you come off the hillside at an Appalachian home, they just pitch their cans and bottles, most of them, down the hill. So picking around down here, and I just kicked up a cool little bottle. Check that out. I like it. I know it's a screw top, but I like it. That one's gonna come home. Very cool. All right, finally something that ain't an old can. It's an old key. It is a gas key. Very cool. From the, man, if it's got writing on it, it's cool. I love stuff with writing on it. Let's see. Independent, is that right? Yep, Independent Lock Company. Very cool. Never found a gas key before. Oh my goodness, looky here. Look what I just saw down the mountainside. That is a big dump. No, we gotta go explore that. Man, look at this. It goes all the way down. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff that'll easily go up into the 60s, mostly screw top stuff, but what you're hoping for is that they continuously dump trash in this spot and that there is some older stuff down below. Because I know it was here in the 30s, but I'm not seeing nearly enough blue and green glass laying here on the surface, but I'll scrape around and see if something pops up. What's that? Black Label beer. Some of this stuff will help us give a little time frame. Did find a little child's sole to a child's shoe over there. All right, let me scratch around. I'll let you know if anything interesting pops out. Ooh, I just drug out an alligator skin purse. It is empty, unfortunately, and it is fake alligator hide. Well, that's a little bit more interesting. I came up above all the trash here, and what's that? Yeah, a little bit older stuff, maybe. A couple old milk bottles. It didn't look like they were embossed, but there's something that don't look embossed either. But at least it's a little bit green. Oh, it is embossed. What do we got? Awesome. Chattanooga Medicine Company. Like I said, not the oldest thing in the world. Chattanooga Medicine Company. So it would have been a paper label, but I found a cool old worm syrup medicine bottle from, I believe, from the Chattanooga Medicine Company. I'll hang on to that one. It is screw top, but it's an early one. All right. Got another medicine bottle with its own little micro system. Ain't that cool looking? That's pretty looking. I'm gonna leave it. It's all cracked up, but it is a Dr. Caldwell from Monticello, Illinois. Monticello, potato. I'm gonna leave it here though. That is neat looking though. Well, I just raked up a piece of an old churn, and right next to it, off a pair of old Wrangler jeans. That's pretty cool. What's that say? Bluebell? Bluebell. See if we can get a date on that. All right, guys, that is it for today. I am getting pretty soggy out here, but you know what? That was a lot of fun. I needed that. It had been a while since I got to go any place new and just explore. No coins, no buttons. Don't know why. Just couldn't find them today. But I did get on some cool old stuff. Got a nice little assortment of bottles anyway. And a gas key. It's a good day in my book.